In the bustling streets of ancient Athens, a barefoot man with a scruffy beard wandered the agora, engaging anyone willing in deep conversation. This man was Socrates, a philosopher whose ideas would ripple through time, shaping Western thought for millennia. Born around 469 BCE, Socrates lived during Athens' golden age. The city was a hub of art, drama, and democracy. Yet, amid the grandeur, Socrates was more interested in the everyday lives and minds of its citizens. He was not born into wealth or nobility. His father was a stonemason, and his mother a midwife. Socrates himself trained as a sculptor, but his true craft became the art of shaping minds through dialogue. Socrates believed that wisdom began with recognizing one's own ignorance. He famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." This paradox drove him to question the very foundations of knowledge and virtue. Armed with only questions, he approached politicians, poets, and craftsmen, probing their understanding of concepts like justice, courage, and piety. His method exposed contradictions and encouraged deeper thought. This approach became known as the Socratic Method, a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue that stimulates critical thinking. It's a technique still used in educational settings around the world today. Despite his intellectual pursuits, Socrates never wrote down his teachings. What we know of him comes from his students, like Plato, who immortalized their teacher in written dialogues. Socrates was a familiar figure in Athens, often seen debating in the marketplace or teaching in the shadows of grand temples. His preference for spoken word over written text was a nod to his belief in the dynamic nature of knowledge. He was married to Xanthippe, and while little is known about their relationship, stories suggest she was less than pleased with his lack of financial ambition. Yet, Socrates remained committed to his philosophical mission. His teachings attracted a following of young Athenians eager to challenge conventional wisdom. However, his tendency to question authority made him unpopular with many in power. In 399 BCE, at the age of 70, Socrates was brought to trial on charges of impiety and corrupting the youth. The true motive behind these accusations was likely political, as Athens was reeling from war and internal strife. During his trial, Socrates remained unapologetic. He argued that he was a benefactor to the city, encouraging virtue and wisdom. His defense was bold, perhaps even antagonistic to the jury. He suggested that instead of punishment, he deserved a reward for his service to Athens. This audacity did little to win over the jurors, and he was found guilty by a narrow margin. Sentenced to death by hemlock poisoning, Socrates had the opportunity to flee. His friends arranged an escape, but he refused, choosing to abide by the laws of the state he respected. In his final days, he discussed immortality and the soul with his disciples. Plato's Phaedo recounts these conversations, painting a picture of a man at peace with his fate, still devoted to seeking truth. On the day of his execution, Socrates took the poison willingly. Surrounded by his tearful followers, he remained calm, consoling them instead of seeking comfort for himself. As the poison took effect, he spoke his final words, a cryptic message asking a friend to repay a debt, a rooster owed to Asclepius, the god of healing. Even in death, his thoughts were of duty and philosophical symbolism. Socrates' passing left a profound void in Athenian society. His death sparked debates about justice, freedom of speech, and the role of the individual versus the state. His student Plato carried forward his legacy, establishing the academy and writing dialogues that explored and expanded upon Socratic thought. Through Plato, Socrates' ideas reached Aristotle, and thus the foundation of Western philosophy was laid. Socrates' emphasis on questioning assumptions challenged people to think for themselves. His approach undermined blind adherence to tradition and authority, promoting intellectual independence. His life also serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of challenging societal norms. Socrates paid the ultimate price for his commitment to truth and integrity. Today, Socrates is remembered not just as a philosopher but as a symbol of the pursuit of knowledge and the importance of ethical living. His methods encourage us to delve deeper, to not accept things at face value. The Socratic Method continues to influence education, particularly in law and philosophy. It fosters critical thinking and the ability to articulate and defend one's beliefs. Socrates' impact extends beyond academia. His teachings inspire discussions about morality, government, and personal responsibility in everyday life. By embracing the idea that we know little, we open ourselves to learning and growth. Socrates' legacy reminds us that wisdom begins with humility. His life encourages us to be curious, to ask questions, and to engage with others in meaningful dialogue. In doing so, we honor his memory and contribute to the ongoing journey of human understanding. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, Socrates' teachings remain relevant. They challenge us to examine our lives, our societies, and the ideals we hold dear. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Socrates' life and legacy. If you found this story enlightening, please subscribe to our channel for more insights into the figures who have shaped our world. Don't forget to like and share this video with others who share your curiosity.